evening and welcome to the final game of the BUCS Super Rugby League. Cardiff Met play host to Exeter at Kingscourt campus tonight. It's going to be a thriller. But first, let's highlight some of the incredible women on our campus involved in sport, continuing to celebrate after International Women's Day yesterday. Let's have a look at Lisa Newton, head coach of the women's rugby team.
Archers after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Archers! I actually really like seeing people develop, so it's not always about the result, it's about the performance and the sort of journey to get there. I think why I love coaching in a university environment.
Well done, 15!
So I started my day in Newport today, delivering a school life skills workshop. So that session started at 8:30. After that then I had a meeting with my work team, or my day job work team, and then I got to Cardiff Met just after 12 o'clock, so I was a little bit late, relying on some assistant coaches to take the lead today. So my Wi-Fi is not really good enough, so I'm going to have to go and take a meeting from my van in a second. Yeah, catch you in a bit. Okay, that's time! Straight into tight to wide, so we'll go tight first, lines of 4. One more round of passing, the next break we go into contact prep, so partner up as soon as we've done this round. Do you know what? It's obviously good, it's nice, but made me feel like a little celebrity with my own camera person following me around, which is grand. But do you know what? Sometimes I just take for granted and go on to autopilot in terms of the things on my to-do list for the day. I know that, it can be tough spending this much time away from my family, but I love this programme and I love rugby, and I'm here to develop the women's game wherever I am. So, yeah.
Great. Well, what a brilliant character Lisa is. I'm now joined in the studio by Cardiff Met rugby player and Welsh international, more importantly, Caitlin Lewis. Caitlin, you've coached alongside Lisa Newton and also played for Cardiff Met here. What's the rugby programme looking like at the moment?
Yeah, so it's a really good programme at the moment. It's growing, our coaching staff and our players, it's a developing team. We struggled coming back after COVID a little bit. We have 2 years of freshers, so we're developing each week, and the girls have really progressed, so I'm proud to be a part of it.
So the Cardiff Met ones are up in Edinburgh. What a trek to get there today. How do they do? I think their match is finished now.
Yeah, sadly they did lose to Edinburgh in the quarterfinals, but Edinburgh is such a strong team and it's ruthless to play against, but and away in Edinburgh as well, I can't imagine being part of that journey. They did lose, but it's a good game.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing how they progress in the next few years, as well as it's a very young side. Let's chat a bit about you. You're back from injury. You played for Exeter Chiefs for the first time. Back this weekend for 30 minutes. How was that back playing after a while?
Yeah, it was very nerve-wracking at first. I was 3 months out is such a long time, and it just getting some game time, being back on the pitch, having some security falling on my wrist again. Yeah, it was very important before leading into the TikTok Six Nations.
Well, you've mentioned the TikTok Six Nations. You've got a friendly this weekend against USA ahead of that. How useful is it to have a match like that, not a team that's part of the Six Nations, beforehand as you train and as you prepare?
Yeah, it's pretty important, as Wales players, we all play across England and Wales, in loads of different teams. So just having a game before we go into that, just to go over structure and get used to playing with each other again is so important. USA are going to be a really challenging game. They're 6th in the world. We're currently 11th. So but you'd rather learn and play against the best and push yourself before you get there.
Well, you mentioned that it's the TikTok Six Nations, so that's the sponsor this year. Does that mean you've had to be making a lot of videos for TikTok as a team?
We have been making a few TikToks, having a few meetings, I guess, about making TikToks. Cecilia in our team is absolutely amazing at it. You know, she's so young and she's just so cool. Like, she makes these TikToks that I could never make them as cool as her.
Brilliant. Well, I can't wait to see you guys on TikTok, but also in the Six Nations on the pitch in a few weeks' time. Thank you so much for joining me. Good luck for this weekend. We're getting to the business end of the season now, and our men's team are doing everything they can to give them the best chance of making it to the BUCS Championship Finals at Worcester Warriors home ground Six Ways. Brilliant. Well, I've got Atticus Peed with me now, commentator for all things basketball at Cardiff Met. We've got a women's game tonight. Tell us more about that.
So the women are playing in the BUCS Women's National Championship tonight. They're in the semifinals. First time they've been here in a while. We're really excited for the game today. It's on the road. It's in Durham, unfortunately. Wish it was here, but there is a live stream up, so you can watch that through the Archers YouTube channel. But I'm really excited. I really think they'll do well tonight. This, is their real chance to get to a final. Their one chance this season. I hope they can take it.
You were also covering the quarterfinals recently. What impressed you about the Cardiff Met team during that game?
Well, they did win by 38 points, so I'll start with that. That's pretty good. But they scored 112 points in 40 minutes. They scored about just over 1.5 points per possession. That's pretty incredible. You don't see that very often in basketball. I think the most impressive part was they sprinted up and down the floor the entire game. They never stopped once. It was just really incredible to see. Reese and I, when we were commentating, were out of breath the whole game. It was just so much fun to be a part of that. And I really think tonight they'll be looking to do the same thing. They focused a lot on sprinting up and down the floor for the entire 40 minutes, the whole game, just through the past few weeks. And the hardest part about doing that is this BUCS roster they have doesn't have many players. They're normally bringing 6, 7, maybe 8 players to a game if they're lucky. So the fact that all of them can do this, sprinting up and down the court the whole time with the small roster they have, it's pretty impressive. It's a real testament to the work their coaches have put in with them this season. So, that I think is their big advantage they have going into the game against Durham tonight.
Talking about this season then, why do you think they're doing so well in BUCS? As you said, this is one of the most successful years they've had for a while.
Well, more than anything, it's Cardiff Met like to play with 3 guards, sometimes 4 guards, and 1 forward or 1 center. They're a really undersized team. Now, but the good thing about this league for them is that size is not hurting them. Most of the teams they play against don't have a lot of size either, so Cardiff Met are able to take advantage. They typically shoot better than the teams they play against. Again, they're a lot faster than most teams they play against. It's really helpful too. But one of the keys for them is Lauren Psyche, their point guard. She's able to distribute the ball just anywhere she wants. Typically averages about 10 to 11 assists per game.
Wow.
And, she's unstoppable basically most of the time. She may be the smallest player on the floor, but she's able to do really anything she wants all the time. That, I think, is the big reason for their success so far.
Brilliant. What are their chances, do you think, then, of getting to the final?
What are their chances, Joe? 100%.
Brilliant.
If anyone from Durham sees that, yeah, I still meant 100%.
So fair.
Yeah, don't worry.
Well, we love the positivity, and thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for joining us. Moving from the court to the track now, we're going to see what happened at the BUCS National Athletics Championships a few weeks ago.
The men's 60-metre hurdles.
Cardiff Met had a successful weekend in Sheffield at the BUCS Championships. It started off with Callum George winning silver in the 60-metre hurdles.
Rain and Andrew. So almost a sea of Loughborough in the middle.
Joel Mattox then went on to win bronze in the men's ambulance 60 metres, with Hannah Breyer winning gold and her third BUCS title in the women's 60 metres.
Hannah Breyer does get a great start. Walker also going really well, but Breyer just leaning through, and she takes the gold. Packed away at the end of the PE lesson. Crash back. Back to the long.
Emily Thomas and Becca Chapman were also competing in the long jump, with Emily getting bronze and Becca achieving silver. Mattox was also competing again during the men's ambulance long jump, winning Met a gold medal.
High jumps Very close on the board there. So 32 for Neil.
Hannah Tapley also added a gold medal to her collection with a leaper of 1 metre 78.
On the outside there. Both these
The women's 4x200 metres relay then went on to pick up a bronze medal with a series of strong running.
Oh my word, Harrison gets gold for Lepra.
The men went one better though, achieving a silver medal and just catching Birmingham on the finish line.
About to be the Cardiff men come through for silver.
Great, well I'm joined by Joe Bryer, who just edited the video we've just seen, but more importantly is also an Olympian. Before we talk about you though, Hannah, your sister was seen winning a gold medal in that BUCS Championships. She's on form this season.
Yeah, so she's running pretty well, to be fair to her. She got a lot to live up to with me last summer, but no, it's great to see her actually back running really well. She won the BUCS Championships a few weeks ago. It was her third, BUCS indoor 60-metre title. Her first for Cardiff Met, which is just, fantastic to have her down here in Cardiff. And also again 2 weeks ago she won the British national title as well over 200 metres, which was, we were really happy to see that title come back to Wales and back to our family, which is really good to see.
Must be a really competitive family then. Are you training alongside each other, or do you kind of stay out of each other's way?
No, we train together, we live together, so we got a pretty close relationship. It's good, we just bounce off each other, which is really good. Always pushing each other to new heights and everything. But yeah, no, it's good to have her alongside me and having someone who's been to like a major championships as well. So she went to the Commonwealth Games in 2014, which is pretty cool. So I've always looked up to that, and now we're both hitting these stages in our career where we want to do more.
So how is your season shaping up then ahead of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham this summer?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. I missed the indoor season this year, just to purely focus on our outdoor season. So Commonwealth Games in Birmingham has always been like my biggest target since I started the sport since I was about 12. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. All things are going really well. I'm off on training camp in a few weeks' time, which I'm pretty excited for.
Where is that then?
Florida.
Wow, so warm weather training then. Is that going to be a relaxing time then? Are you going to be still having early mornings, heavy training sessions?
No, it won't be much relaxation going on. It's sort of, we got to be on it from the minute we land in the US. So it's going to be pretty intense, but no, it's what we got to do really. I'm looking forward to it. Training more or less every day, sometimes twice a day, which is going to be hard, but no, there's something I need right now.
I've also heard that you're staying quite close to Disneyland. Will you be taking a trip to see Mickey Mouse?
Not right at the start. We've got to really concentrate on training and stuff, but maybe at the end, after my training and competing, then maybe I'll be go and have a go on a couple of the rides there.
Brilliant. Well, that'd be an incentive to train well and to do well. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. You're heading over to the gantry now? I
am. I got a quick 200-metre sprint over to the gantry to get on camera, but I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Well, if anyone can make it, you can. I'll let you go. Great. We're going to head over to the commentary box now, where Rob and Griff are going to take us through tonight's action.
Good evening then, and welcome to what is the final game of the BUCS Super Rugby season for both Cardiff Met and Exeter. Joining me tonight to watch this game unfold is Griff McKee. As always, Griff, how are we feeling? The two teams have just gone in from their warm-ups. Both teams look up for it.
Yeah, cheers Rob, really excited for this game. There's so much on the line this week after an exciting season all along. We've seen highs and lows for both sides. Exeter, has to be said, they've been one of the teams that have stood out this season. They're 1 point behind Durham at the moment, but no, the biggest thing about tonight is that is hopefully going to be a thriller.
Yeah, it should be a thriller. We've had some fantastic games all through the season, and last week didn't disappoint either. As you can see on the screen there, Cardiff Met had an emphatic victory over Northumbria. They did travel up there on the Friday night and came away with exactly what they were looking for, Griff.
Yeah, of course, a bonus point win was exactly what they wanted, especially going into this week. Another massive result, especially in the context of Cardiff Met, was that Swansea 18-14 win against Loughborough, meaning that Cardiff Met do have a 4-point buffer, if you like, going into this week. But also looking at the table, Exeter beating Hartbury 31-13 is also a massive victory for Exeter, don't get me wrong, and Hartbury maybe haven't performed to their best ability so far this year, but going into the playoffs, they've won every single playoffs we've seen, so they're a dangerous side.
Yeah, as we know, Hartbury are a dangerous side in the playoffs, as you said, but today's visitors also carry a big threat. And you talked me through what could happen tonight, but if we look at the fixtures going on all across BUCS Super Rugby tonight, there's some big games in the mix there.
Oh, of course. Cardiff Met against Exeter, that has implications on who wins the title and who finishes third, finishes second, finishes fourth. Everything's going on tonight. It's going to be absolute chaos, to say the least. And then looking at the other fixtures, maybe Hartpury against Cardiff is also going to be a big one, especially for who finishes sixth. If Cardiff Met manage to beat Hartpury tonight, Cardiff will finish sixth. And if Met win as well, there'll be a Cardiff clash here at Kincoid campus. It's what dreams are made of.
Yeah, it's a complicated finish to the season, but an exciting one nonetheless. And we'll keep you up to date with all the other games as well as the night goes on and as those results do come in. But for tonight, we are focusing on Cardiff Met and Exeter Uni, and we've been looking at the teams, Griff. Few changes for both sides, but strong nonetheless.
Yeah, of course. The Cardiff Met team has changed quite a bit from last time, as we can see on the screen here, Rob.
Yeah, so as we said, the Cardiff Met team looking strong as ever. Oliver Andrews in that forward line. He's a man who's been switching between the 1 and 3 jersey this season. A difficult task, but one he has taken on very well.
Yeah, of course. Joe Cowell and Matt Marley, they're going to be big players tonight.
They are indeed. So, as we move on then, we've seen the teams warming up outside. Couple of players looking strong. We've mentioned Will Rigg a few times this season.
Will Rigg, he's been an exceptional player this year. And I think Will Rigg, for me anyway, he's been the star of the show in the last couple of weeks. 2 tries in the last 2 games. That means he's definitely going to be banging form going into this game, and hopefully we'll see, well, from our perspective again, it must be said we are slightly Met biased here, but hopefully we'll see Rigg get over the line a couple of times. But as you said, the 12 for Met, the 12 for Exeter as well. Tom Hitchcock, he's going to be someone to look out for.
Yeah, we mentioned there a little bit of confusion in the commentary box as we saw the teams there. Completely different from the actual lineup. So we do actually go through the teams that we've received and the teams playing tonight. The forward line, Tom Workman, Morgan Nelson, Ollie Andrews. As we said, Ollie Andrews has shown his versatility this season and earned his place in this final game of the season. The second row, Barney Langton, Dylan Bartlett, 2 ever-presents mainly for Cardiff Met this season. Dylan Bartlett joining Barney Langton in that second row, as we mentioned. The flankers today, Griff, Matt Marley and Bailey Telford. Just talk to me about what Matt Marley can do in that 7 jersey.
Matt Marley, he's an experienced lad. He's always very vocal for the team as well, which I think is instrumental playing at 7. And both of them love a turnover. They love a turnover.
Yeah, so big players for Met, but as ever, the team that is in second is Exeter. And their team is looking strong also. The man that jumps out straight on the team... Couple of issues with the team graphics there, but if we go off what we actually do have, Arthur Relton, Griff.
Yeah, he is. He's key for Exeter tonight. He scored, I believe it's 14?
14 tries for
14
Relton.
tries. That is the second highest in the league. Of course he's going to be a danger. He's always looking to get on the ball, and he's got experience as well, playing, for England 20s last year. He's had that experience. He's come back here, and he's going to be so important tonight in the style they play.
Yeah, the graphics slightly throwing us off there, Griff, but what Exeter have brought with them here to Cardiff is a very strong team. They've got experienced boys throughout the team, but they've also got a couple of freshers who are new to BUCS Super Rugby. Ollie White's back. He missed the whole season a couple of seasons ago. He's back in the team. He's captained them tonight. What's he going to bring?
I think he's going to bring the physicality that you see a 7 always bring. And he brings that almost that redemption story to this Exeter team. They've been second in the league before. They've been first in the league, but they haven't quite managed to get over the line and actually win BUCS Super Rugby Championship. So I think what he has is not only the eagerness to come back from an injury, but the eagerness to have seen his team almost get there a couple of times, and now he's here. He knows what's required to get to that final and what it takes to be BUCS Super Rugby champions.
Yeah, it can't be understated how well this Exeter side has done this season. But as we mentioned, Kincoid is not an easy place to go.
Yeah, we see here on the lower third, Will Rigg. He is one of the best players in the Cardiff Met side, I believe, this year. He's been the star of the show. He's been involved in 17 out of 17 games. It's actually crazy the fact that he's done that so well through the season. out of 120 carries, I can tell you that 116 have been positive. Out of 120, 116 are positive. It's crazy.
Tell you what is great. Now, regardless of the teams we've seen on the screen, we know what the teams are today. If you are going to pick out one man from each team, as I expect we see a couple of teams coming out now, who you got your eye on, Griff?
For me, Bingo Ivanisevic coming back into the side. He's been missing for a few weeks. Maybe not performing to the best of his abilities, but now he's back into the team. He's definitely going to be a man to keep an eye out for tonight, because he is crucial in attack. We saw at home, against Bath, he was unreal. Unreal's the only word, but tonight he's going to be one to keep an eye out for. I also think for Exeter University, Chris Moore, he started the last 7. He's played previously for Ireland under-18s, and he has been announced to sign with Munster in Ireland, so he will certainly be a man to keep an eye out for.
Here we go then. So the Exeter team are making their way onto the pitch. It's just getting colder as the night goes on, but almost perfect circumstances and conditions for the final game of the BUCS Super Rugby season for both of these teams. As we see on the screen there, the captain leading his side out and getting us underway. We've seen it many times this season, Griff. Cardiff like to let the opposition wait out in the cold for a few minutes before they join them on the pitch. Tactics?
It is tactics, certainly, and sending them through that tunnel first, getting that hostile environment just as they're coming out. It's intimidating, to say the least, as I'm sure we can hear it from inside our hut here, but I'm sure the noise out there is just on a different level tonight.
Yeah, it's great to see Kincoid campus and Rugby 1 specifically filling up nicely. It's been horrendous conditions for the last few home games, but it's perfect tonight for these boys. Here come Cardiff Met then to join their opposition for this evening on the pitch and hopefully get the game underway within a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you're seeing there people like Bailey Telfer, Will Rigg, Shenton, Marley, Nelson. There's so much experience in this team. Even Jack Sylvester at the back. There's so much experience in this team. It just boils with anticipation and expectation almost that Cardiff Met should be finishing in that third spot. That's key to get a semi-final. Only down at Exeter. Maybe we don't know yet. We're maybe anticipating what's going to happen, but likely going to be Exeter.
So Exeter are going to get us underway then, and it is Will Rigg who collects the ball very nicely. As we said, the conditions are favourable tonight. Not too cold, but more importantly, not too windy and quite dry.
Yeah, it's quite dry. We've seen a little bit of drizzle. As we see the first mistake there from Exeter.
Slight mistake there from Max Bliss. Struggling under the high ball, as we say. The conditions are perfect. Perhaps a few nerves creeping in. As you see on the top of your screen there, the crowd filling up nicely. It's good to see. It's good to see the crowd are back. The weather is decent, as we mentioned. And we are going to have the first scrum of the game.
Yeah, last week up in Northumbria, they didn't have the crowd. They didn't have this filled stadium. We see this. It shows the magnitude of this game, how many people have actually come out to watch this game. It's brilliant to see, and it's a great spectacle for BUCS Super Rugby.
Yeah, Cian Richards there putting it into the scrum for the first time in this game, but Exeter are awarded a penalty almost immediately, and they'll take some momentum with that, because we know how strong Cardiff Met scrum can actually be, and it is an area they've looked to attack through this season.
Yeah, the battle of the front row is going to be interesting. We've been talking quite a bit with the Cardiff Met team in the build up to this. It's going to be an interesting battle there, because Cardiff Met, realistically in the last 4 or 5 games, they've had the better of the scrum, but playing a heavyweight like Exeter, it's going to make a big difference.
It is indeed. As we see the line out there, the line-up is a favourable area of attack for Exeter. They do like to go in hard from their line-ups. As we see Ewan Shenton go into a tackle there. It's good handling from Tom Hitchcock to collect that. The play's going to keep moving though through Harlem. Ball in the hand of Lloyd Seed. Lloyd Seed, a man who's got 5 tries from that number 10 position this season, Griff. Could he be a danger today?
I think he's going to be a danger. What I will admit right now, I think Exeter will look to go for tries over, penalty points. Oh, Morgan Nelson, that is a great carry there from him. But as I was saying, tries for Exeter seems to be the place where they punish teams.
Yeah, we saw moments ago then a great carry from Morgan Nelson, a man with 7 tries to his name in that forward line, which is quite experienced. Oliver Andrews settling into the team in recent weeks, and Morgan Nelson an ever-present in that front line. Bradley Roderick Evans, someone Cardiff Met have looked to all season to get them up the pitch, as Brad Denty chases.
Yeah, we've seen that many a times by... we've seen a few times in the recent weeks from Cardiff Met going to the boot rather than keeping the ball in hand. It seems to be a favourable approach by Met in the attack.
As a much smoother line out comes in from Exeter. It is spilled but collected well by Bullard, who's going to bound through a couple of challenges. Cameron Bullard there. Former Scotland under-18s man. Exeter happy to go through the phases comfortable in their own 22, Griff.
Yeah, it's quite comfortable. They're keeping the ball well. They're going to exit here now, but it shows early signs of how comfortable Exeter are to play the ball for a few phases in their own 22.
It is Niall Armstrong who gets the ball clear with a nice box kick. Collected well, though, by Bradley Denty. Important there, he had support. Here goes Morgan Nelson once again.
Oh.
As we see an infamous chip over the top. Brad Denty on the chase. Niall Armstrong does well, though, to collect under some serious pressure from Brad Denty. We've seen Bradley Roderick Evans focus on those chips over the tops all the way through the season. Didn't quite come off there, but it will keep the Exeter defence on the half turn.
Yeah, Roderick Evans, he's developed his game almost to be a bit more similar to Ethan Morgan. Ethan Morgan's more creative, getting the ball on his foot and punting it more often. Wow.
Intricate passing there from Exeter. The 1-2s coming in. Lloyd Seed orchestrating that quick passage of play, but it does come to nothing. And it was knocked on in the mix there, but we can see what they can do with the ball. They're handling one of the best in the league. There's a reason they are second, and they do play free-flowing rugby in contrast to what the Exeter Chiefs do. We know how closely related these two clubs are. The styles of play, they're very different.
Yeah, what we're seeing early doors is Exeter not afraid to play the ball. Normally in that position there, that Lloyd Seed picked the ball up, he'd exit, he'd get rid of the ball. You don't want to be playing with the ball in your own 22. But Exeter's so comfortable on the ball, almost a basketball pass there as well from one of the backs. It's impressive to say the least.
It is indeed, but Cardiff Met do have possession now, and it is Ewan Shenton out to the wing. It's in the hands of Cian Richards over to Roma Zeng, and Roma Zeng does get it down for the first try of the game. In the last BUCS Super Rugby game of the season, Roma Zeng scores a try. He's had a few over in that corner this season, and he takes his tally up to 8. Quick work there, Griff.
Yeah, fantastic work. It came from the scrum there, similar to scrum to the one we saw just earlier that Exeter got a penalty from, but this time the referee was more patient, let the play breathe, and Ewan Shenton with a good pickup, and then it was a walk-in almost, Cian Richards out to Roma Zeng, and he finishes it in the left corner. No messing, Cardiff Met are here to play.
Yep, just as we compliment Exeter for quick passing and well-orchestrated play, Cardiff Met come and do the exact same thing and grab themselves the first 5 points of the game. With the wind being low and the conditions being ideal, Bradley Roderick Evans will back himself here to chip it through the posts for those extra 2 points. Roderick Evans wasting that kick, in fact. He took his time in the build-up. It was difficult to see whether it did make its way through the post. The answer is that it didn't.
Well, it looks from this angle that it was going. It's funny how we've just said, the conditions seems to be perfect, and then Roderick Evans, who can tank them over from the halfway line, is short or whatever it was with that kick. So maybe it has taken a turn, a bit of wind coming from behind Exeter in this half.
Yeah, or perhaps the magnitude of the game. As we said, it is the last game of the season, and there's plenty of connotations for the result in this game and all the other games going on throughout the evening. But it is Cardiff Met in the lead here then. Cardiff Met 5, Exeter 0. Griff, it's important for Cardiff Met to get a result here. Do you want to talk us through what it means for the league table?
Yeah, so if Cardiff Met, essentially, what Cardiff Met fans need to know is if Cardiff Met win, Cardiff Met finish third in the league. It's as simple as that. If we can win again here at Kincoid, we'll finish third. If we don't manage to win and get a draw, then we will finish third. It just gets a little bit more complicated if we don't win this game. It goes down to all them bonus points, and we'll need to tally at least 2 of them tonight. Oh, Will Rigg.
Will Rigg there with an aggressive bit of play. Nearly finds himself with an interception, but it is a knock-on. Good ambition. Good hunger. We've seen it all season from Will Rigg. That aggression. For Exeter, though, we're talking about what could happen with certain results. Exeter are still in the title race, albeit slightly slim chances of it coming through with Durham playing Northumbria today. But there is a chance, Griff.
Yeah, as you said, there's a chance for Exeter to win the league if Durham slip up against Northumbria. We, in the past couple of years in BUCS Super Rugby, I can't remember which season it was in particular, but Durham did deny Northumbria the chance of winning the league table, the league season, perhaps. So maybe Northumbria an upset rather, not an update. I can inform everyone listening, it is 10-0 to Durham as it stands, meaning that they would win the league title. So if the game remains like that, then Exeter will, they might not be upset, but it's an opportunity, isn't it? You can't get, it's the closest we've seen in years.
Yeah, the boys on the pitch won't know that. They'll still be hungry to get a result regardless of the connotations in the league table. They'll be looking to get the win.
Oh.
As we see Lloyd Seed send it right up the pitch there. Very nice kick from the 10.
Fantastic hands there from Jack Sylvester, though, to save that 50-22. If that had gone out there, it'd have been an unbelievable change in the territory. But Jack Sylvester has managed to get maybe 10-15 metres there, but it's a crucial 10-15 metre.
As we see in the crowd there, a few of the mature students, with an emphasis on the mature, I suppose. But here is Matt Marley, bursting his way through a few challenges.
Another mature student, Matt Marley.
Yeah, he's making his way through, just like Will Rigg here. Hands off. He's really done well there to hand off Arthur Relton, who is a strong runner himself.
Again, though, Will Rigg making those yards, a positive carry. He doesn't stop, does he?
He really has come into his own this season, Will Rigg. Bagging a wonderful try over in Bath not so long ago. But we know the attacking prowess of Exeter. And if they can get their hands on the ball, Griff, we know how well they spread the play from left to right and how quickly they can do that. Is that the route they need to go down now to pull the game level?
Yeah, it's early on in the game. Maybe the gaps won't be there in Met's defence at this moment, but as the game does develop and go onwards, I think there might be more gaps for Exeter to penetrate on the wings. But for now, it seems to be a tight contest. Only one try after 11 minutes. Sometimes in BUCS Super Rugby we see a try fest, but this week I think it's going to be a low scorer.
Showing the importance, though, of Cardiff Met's 5 points that they do have on the board in these early stages. With 11 minutes gone, they do lead 5 points to 0. Here's Bullard. Armstrong sending it into Harlem. One of the freshest in this Exeter side. Second row's in demand for Exeter. Plenty of change in there. As we mentioned, Christians are playing for them this season, as well as Daft Jenkins, who's now settling into the Exeter Chiefs team in the Premiership.
Yeah, you're saying there, Exeter have that prowess, I guess, of the different available players. Even the likes of Ollie Leatherbarrow, he's unavailable. He's training with the Scotland under-20s in Italy. Will Yarnell, who's played loads of games this year, at 9, he's unavailable as well. But you just see the strength in depth that they have, and Exeter have 30 different try scorers this year. That's unheard of. Cardiff Met maybe have 20 tops, but 30. It just shows how strong they are in every position throughout the whole club they have down there at Exeter.
It does speak for how much depth you do actually need to compete at the top end of this BUCS Super Rugby table. As we see the fans there, they're enjoying themselves in this final game. Interesting.
Yeah, strange, almost celebration there. I'm sure we'll be busting that one out in the club later on.
Celebrating 12 minutes in, 5-0 lead for Cardiff Met. They'll take it at this point against the team that is second in the table, Exeter, as the referee is having a word with the two captains, Ewan Shenton for Cardiff Met and Ollie White. As we mentioned, Wales under-18s, Ollie White, he's back in the team. He had a long-term injury and he's bounced back, and he's led his side this season to second in the league.
Yeah, I think what we see a lot in BUCS Super Rugby is the magnitude and the importance of different captains. We know that with Ollie White. Shenton, since he's come back, he's scored 6 tries in 8 games. He's almost pipped the likes of Matt Marley in terms of tackles, who's played the majority of the season. Then you see Fred Davis up at Durham as well. He's top try scorer in the whole league. So it's obvious that the captains do make such a difference, and Ollie White in his own right has been exceptional for Exeter this season, leading them to second in the league.
As we see the brand new banner here at Rugby 1, Study and Play.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful picture of Rob's arms there as well.
Getting in the gym recently, as you can tell. I wish. Here is the extra line out, though. They took their time with this one, and it is intercepted by Bailey Telfer. He's done really well there, has Bailey Telfer. He's got the most turnovers this season, and you can see why there.
Yeah, he's eager to get out on the ball, always searching for that interception.
Exeter will be disappointed with that line out, though. An area they are usually strong from. It's been stop-start so far this game. We are 15 minutes in. Not quite got into the flow of it.
Yeah, as you say, it's stop-start, but that suits Cardiff Met. Cardiff Met do like to play not maybe less expansive rugby than Exeter. I'm not saying Cardiff Met don't play expansive rugby, but they seem to enjoy and relish that grueler. You know, we've been to Hartbury. The Hartbury game here was a bit of a grind to get the result and stuff. So Cardiff Met will be happy with the way the game's going at the moment.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
emphasis on the strength of that forward pack with Barney Langton back in the mix. He's missed the last 3 games through injury, but he is back just in time for this game.
Yeah, Ethan Morgan there got injured in the game against Bath. It's good to see him back involved with the team after that concussion. He is ruled out for the next 2 weeks as well due to the protocols with concussion, but I'm sure he'll be back soon.
Niall Armstrong looking to pick up the pace of the game a little bit. And Max Bliss getting himself involved.
Yeah, good tackle there from Roderick Evans. Not scared to get involved with the tackling either, is he?
He certainly isn't. Bradley Roderick Evans known for his kick-in, but he was in the mix with the tackles last week, especially. And he was the top tackler against Northumbria. But here is Brad Denty, a man who's really going to look to put an impact on this game. He's wanted to get stuck in throughout the season, perhaps difficult when the opposition know what you have to offer.
Yeah, it's difficult, and especially when you're on the other side of, I guess, a breakout superstar in BUCS Super Rugby, Roma Zheng, and the way he's kind of just delighted everyone who watches him this season. But Brad Denty, he's certainly a threat every game. We've seen him score a couple here and a couple away, but he will definitely get the ball to hands today, and he loves to just charge at people. And it's difficult to stop someone in that with that force when they're running straight towards you.
As we go into another scrum here with nearly 17 minutes on the clock. It's interesting how many we've seen so far today, given the prowess of all 4 wingers on the pitch. As we mentioned earlier, the wingers for Exeter, very dangerous. The man coming to mind, Relton, with those 14 tries. And he'll be looking to get on the score sheet as soon as he as soon as possible, really. As we say, we don't want Irizu and Shenton.
Yeah, as you were saying there, though, but all wingers in their own right have a threat. Jordan Bond, he's got 7 tries, played the match against Northumbria previously in the season. He's a strong player in his own right, so I wouldn't just focus on, Relton and Zheng and Denty. He's also going to be there on that right-hand side, waiting eagerly for the ball to fall into his hands.
Bradley Roderick Evans' kick, though, finds touch and moves Cardiff Met ever so slightly up the pitch, but in a better position.
Yeah, I'll just jump in here with a quick score update from a different game, not the Durham game this time, but Hartpury against Cardiff. If both of these games finish with the current results, we would be seeing Cardiff University come up here to Kincroyd campus. It is Hartpury 13, Cardiff 31, already a bonus point for Cardiff Uni.
As a pinpoint line out is sent down to Matt Marley. Here come Cardiff. The ball in the hands of Telfer, offloaded well. They've done well to keep possession there, and Bradley Roderick Evans going to find Romazeng on the far side. We've seen him in this position once already today, but it's a brilliant tackle coming in from Dan John to spear the winger straight into touch. Dangerous in that area, Romazeng. We've seen it today, and we've seen it all season, Griff.
But it's brilliant. A loop ball there from Roderick Evans. It's vision that is sensational. The Exeter line it's high, it's quick. They're putting the hammer down there. But Roderick Evans, calm, cool, composed, floats it over the top, and Romazeng almost squeezes his way through again. I would not have been surprised to see him go over the line again there, though.
Roderick Evans making it look like he had all the time in the world to find that pass, but he certainly didn't. Plenty of pressure from the Exeter defence. As we see here, there is the looping pass, and Roma's always ready to receive it. But a great tackle on his own from Dan John. He's a man who has 6 tries himself from centre. Prolific all across the team, as you said.
Yeah, he's a great player, and he's also able to slot in anywhere along that back line. So if Exeter do come into any troubles with the injury or the backs, he'll just step in with ease into any position. Great defence there from Bartlett and Roderick Evans together. Not a duo we always see combined on the pitch.
Good counter-rucking, though, from Exeter. And they have retained possession in their own 22, though. As Armstrong shapes up for a box kick. And he's going to look to get as much distance on this as he can. Doesn't go too far, though.
Yeah, we see the elements, the rain starting to come down here.
Nice show and go there from Cian Richards. Romazeng fumbling the ball ever so slightly. And the ref is going to blow up for a slight knock on there. Scrappy game so far. It really hasn't been the flow in rugby we expected to see from Exeter.
It's not particularly pretty rugby at the moment, but it's certainly a good game. It's a good contest and a battle it is. As said previously, we don't expect to see this game being a high-scoring encounter. We don't expect this game to be a try-fest. It's going to be a grueler, and I think that it's going to be less than 20 points each for sure, especially the way it's lining up at the moment. But who can predict BUCS Super Rugby?
And just as we thought we might have a BUCS Super Rugby game here at Kincroyd without the elements playing a massive part, the rain has picked up, as you can see on your screen there, just to make it more interesting.
But we can see, the elements are coming right to left against the screen here. As we see a little some argy-bargy from both sides there in the ruck.
Romazeng with the spill. As we said, the rain has picked up, slips through the palms of the number 11. And Cardiff Met managed to retain possession. Ollie Andrews bursting through a couple of challenges there. He bagged himself a try last week. A few tries, actually, in that Cardiff Met front row.
Yeah, especially with Morgan Nelson there, and how every team in BUCS Super Rugby seems to play rugby. They all love to drive them all over the line from within the 22. The Ultras don't like that call from the referee. Matt Marley, fancy the word. As he always does.
Matt Marley does love interacting with the fans. But as the Exeter kick finds touch well into the Cardiff Met half, they'll fancy their chances from a line-out. As we said, they are dangerous from line-outs. It is 5-0 though to Cardiff Met with 22 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it's been this half has gone fairly quick to think. Not much has happened so far today in the game, but as it stands, Cardiff Met are happy. Exeter not happy, and the Ultras love that again. Oh,
intercepted once again by Bailey Telfer. And Cian Richards is going to bring it forward as Bingo Ivanisevic gets on the ball for one of the first times this game and tries a cheeky little dink over the top. Chased his own kick, couldn't quite get there. Dan John was covering once again. He's been crucial tracking back for his team so far today. Was that knocked out of his hands? The referee says no. Niall Armstrong insisting that it was by Matt Marley.
It's been a strange passage of play there, to be honest.
There's been a few scrappy passages of play.
Yeah, it was weird. Weird is the best word to describe that. That Cian Richards was on the floor there trying to get himself out of the way, and he ends up being in the way of the pass. It was strange, and then no one from Cardiff Met followed up to retain the ball. But
as Alec Lloyd's kick finds touch once again, plenty of points for Alec Lloyd this season. Just the 22 kicks though, far less than his opposite number, Bradley Roderick Evans, who's taken just over 70, I believe, this season. 75, in fact.
Yeah.
For the Cardiff Met number 10. As another line-out goes astray for Exeter, and Ollie Andrews collects.
It does seem to be that all of Exeter's line-outs going astray are going towards the Cardiff Met half. So from right to left on our screen, is the wind picking up? So it's something to consider for sure.
Jordan Bond with a kick straight into the hands of Bradley Roderick Evans, who's going to march the ball forward and find Romazeng once again, as he has done 3 times today. Romazeng bounces the challenge, but he's going to need support, and it does arrive. And Ewan Shenton backing up his teammate Dylan Bartlett. Still moving forward with Ollie Andrews, who does get the ball ripped from his hands. And possession changes hands in Exeter's favour.
Yeah, the ball's starting to turn into a bar of soap here. No team can hold it for longer than a couple of phases, so it's going to be a tough game now. Pre-match, if the game had kicked off at 4, we'd have had perfect weather all throughout the whole 80 minutes. But now, the elements have picked up.
It's going to be scrappy once again then here at Rugby 1. An unusual amount of turnover so far in the game, though. As Bailey Telfer supports his captain in the tackle. Matt Marley collects well. He'll also need support, though. Exeter really focused on winning this ball back as it's sent over to Brad Denty on the wing. He's been involved a few times today, looking dangerous.
Yeah, great support there as well. Bingo Ivanisevic.
Here goes Tom Workman, though, bursting his way through the Exeter defence. Cardiff Met looking dangerous now in this attacking position. Will Rigg, a man who can burst his way through as many challenges as he likes. He works his way through 2 or 3 there, and Will Rigg finds his way to the try line and bags yet another try for Cardiff Met in what is a very tight game. That's his 7th of the season.
What did I tell you before the game, Rob? I was certain that Will Rigg would get over the line today. That line, into the 12, straight in there. Will Rigg, he is a unit. There's nothing else you can say about him. It's impossible to stop him when he's running onto that ball. A flat line, straight towards the defence. Unbelievable from Will Rigg, and Cardiff Met, second try of the game, starting to maybe get more comfortable with the ball in hand and play through the phases. And they use the penalty advantage well there as well.
Yeah, great to see the development of Will Rigg throughout the season. He's been a strong runner all the way from the start, but now he does back himself to find that try line. As the kick has been taken, I believe. Can't quite see that. But Exeter are going to get us back underway. As we grab confirmation that the kick did find its way through the posts. We could have assumed that had Bradley Roderick Evans not missed the first kick of the day. As we said, the conditions are playing a part now. But Bradley Roderick Evans finding his mark and sends the ball into touch. Just about. Brad Denty once again fancying his chances on this right-hand side. A lot of space there for Brad, something we've not seen all the way through the season. As we said, he is a fourth-year student.
Yeah, as an experienced player in the team, you know, teams such as Exeter, Durham, Loughborough, they've seen that how he operates, how dangerous he can be. Maybe this season the emphasis has been more on Roma Zheng, and people have gone, oh, we best defend this side a bit stronger. And in this game, Brad Denty's so far, he's had some great chances, and it's been a brilliant from him so far this season.
It has indeed then. So, Cardiff Met 12, Exeter 0 with 28 minutes on the clock. Cardiff Met bagging those 2 tries. The first from Roma Zheng and the second from Will Rigg. As the ball is ripped once more by Barney Langton. We've seen so many turnovers in today's game, and that one in favour of Cardiff Met. As a pick and go comes in from Roma Zheng, wastes no time, and he makes his way over the try line for the second time today. Switched on, picks it up, backs himself to have the pace, and he bags a second try of the game. Almost catching us by surprise there, Griff.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise, certainly, but Roma Zheng, he's always alert, he's always ready for that loose ball, and he picks it up beautifully, he gets over the line, and you can see how much that meant to all the players, even the substitutes. Oh.
As we see the replay there, the balance under pressure from Roma Zheng has been a signature of his all season. When the tackles come in, he manages to keep his feet, just as he has done there.
It's that strength as well he has in his upper body, and to be fair, he's probably the strongest player in the team. I'm sure when we've spoken to the other team players, he has scored. He has been the strongest man in the gym for sure. So that handoff as well, keeping Exeter off. Roma Zheng, what a player!
Yeah, we spoke to him not so long ago, and he said one of his biggest targets this season was to not only beat Morgan Nelson in the try-scoring charts, but to reach those double figures, which he has done now with the second try of this game for himself.
Yeah.
Exeter caught napping again.
Yeah, it's strange from Exeter so far. They've not been as exhilarating as they have been, you know, in the game against Loughborough, in the game against Durham when they won at home as well. They've been sleeping so far this game, I must say.
And Exeter are going to get us back underway, though. They're going to need a response to get back in this game. Cian Richards is going to pump the ball up the pitch. And so far tonight, the high ball has been handled very nicely, as Max Bliss does just there. The ref is going to blow his whistle, and joining me in the commentary box is Caitlin Lewis. Caitlin, 2 tries from Roma Zheng. Start with him.
Yeah.
You're a winger yourself. What do you think of his game?
He's crazy, isn't he? He's just phenomenal. Like, there's nothing much that can stop him. He's so clever with his positioning out on the blind side. Like, he's up flat, ready for that missed pass. Yet also he holds his feet so well when they do send that release player down the blind. Like, he's there's nothing much that can stop him. He's so strong through the tackles as well. As
we see his try come in there, this was his first try. Almost typical Roma Zheng there, squeezed up against the touchline and works his way through. But it was his second try that was almost more impressive.
Yeah.
As we see...
He's such a strong ball carrier, isn't he?
Yeah, and so talk to me how difficult it is to actually keep your balance when you are under that pressure, because he's been hit by so many challenges and he still manages to keep his feet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how he wriggles his way through, to be honest. But like, I think what Met are doing really well down the short sides at the moment is like having those strong ball carriers on the short line, isolating one defender and leaving space for the wingers. It's not just Roma Zheng. Both wings are working so hard on their positioning. Very good.
Cardiff Met, though, working hard. Thank you very much, Caitlin, talking through Roma Zeng's play so far today in the game, but his dangerous build-up throughout that conversation from Cardiff Met, really putting the emphasis on Exeter's defence to work hard and actually stand up straight as Will Rigg comes in on the crash ball, taken well but defended equally strong from Exeter. Here's Workman now. Cardiff Met maintaining the pressure, picked up by Ollie Andrews, who couldn't quite break through the line and pushed backwards by Exeter. The pressure really building now from Cardiff. Relentless though, no stopping. Telfer in support. As we see the ball go over again, Will Rigg picks it up just out of camera there, makes one of his signature lines once again. Will Rigg, Griff, you picked it up before the game, that Will Rigg style of play suited this kind of game. 2 tries for Roma, 2 tries for Will now. Lovely try.
It's the two men to look out for this season. Both have been firing, both have been getting involved with the tries. And it's a fantastic pass there. Kean Richards with a vision to leave out Bingo Ivanisevic, and then Will Rigg coming in on the perfect line to get over for his second of the game. You know, both players, Roma and Will Rigg, will certainly be loving their form going into the end of the season. And Cardiff Met's form going into the playoffs now, it seems to be everything's clicking at the right time.
It does indeed, and it just shows how hard Will Rigg does actually hit that line. Come in from off screen to catch that ball. As Bradley Roderick Evans chips it over the post to add to his points tally. As we said at the start of the game, Bradley Roderick Evans is the BUCS Super Rugby top leading point scorer this season.
Second most points of all time in a league season. He's currently, he is 29 short of the record, so if we can see a couple of tries from Roger Evans in the second half, that'd be great.
It would indeed, but Exeter then caught napping perhaps in this first half. Cardiff Met 26, Exeter 0, and Cardiff Met do secure that bonus point within the first half. Something that's been quite elusive for them all season, Griff, grabbing that bonus point and perhaps taking advantage when they are on top in games.
Yeah, that's been one of the maybe problems for Cardiff Met this season, not coming away with bonus points. They've only picked up around 8 bonus points this season, which just isn't strong enough, especially when you're playing Swansea, that's at home, and you've got the pressure on them all second half, and you just don't get that point. It's a shame, but Cardiff Met have recovered well, and Swansea doing Cardiff Met a favour last week by beating Loughborough.
As we see Dan John there trying to get his side up the pitch in support from his centre partner, Tom Hitchcock. As a fumble goes in, I think it was knocked on there in the mix. It's unfortunate. We've seen that a few times today so far. The culprit this time, Dan John, just as we mentioned, his ambition to get his side forward, he does knock the ball on, and we are going to have a scrum. But Dan John, an important player for Exeter. He grabbed himself 2 tries last week. Can't quite get in the game though today.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Exeter have clicked in this game yet. Maybe it was the travel, maybe it's the fact that it's the last game of the season, maybe it's the fact that they know that Durham will win against Northumbria and that they've lost hope. But it's not like they're sharp enough today to get the ball out to the danger men, such as you said, Dan John and Tom Hitchcock as well in the centres, which both of them have been brilliant this season.
As we look once more at the crowd, I can see a little donkey in the mix there. Interesting. Not sure if it's somebody dressed up as one. Oh no, it is a little inflatable. But they're having a good time, and it's interesting because Cardiff Met, it was kind of a celebration today. There wasn't too much we could do in terms of our position. We kind of knew the connotations, but for Exeter, they knew Durham were playing Northumbria. It's not unfair to say they backed themselves, Durham, to beat Northumbria. It's going to affect your mindset if you are Exeter, knowing that your chances of winning the title isn't in your hands.
Yeah, it's going to... no disrespect to Northumbria, but when the top of the league with 74 points are playing a team that's won 1 game this season and only picked up 3 bonus points, you're not going to have that faith, I guess, in Northumbria to get the win. And it's a shame that Exeter haven't really turned up yet today. it was looking like it would be a big, well, a closely contested battle today, but as it stands, Exeter have really, they've been deflated all game.
Yeah, they've given Bradley Roderick Evans time on the ball to create those chances. There's a very interesting kick comes in there. Exeter really not focused, it seems, today in their last game of the season. It'll take a big performance, though, Griff, in the second half if they are going to come back and offer some sort of a challenge.
Oh, certainly, especially going into the wind in the second half as well. It's going to be some comeback if Exeter do manage to overhaul this 26-point lead at Cardiff Met. Having said that, we have seen teams in the second half come back from big points difference. You remember Bath came here earlier in the season.
Springs to mind.
Yeah, they scored, I believe it was 30 or 34 points in one half of rugby. So it's not unthinkable, but it's unlikely.
Yeah, of all the teams you'd back to come here and put on a show in the second half, Exeter would be one of them. They're not second in the league for no reason. But these boys are enjoying themselves tonight.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders bug has hit everyone here, I think, with those those cheeky hats.
Anticipating the rain, perhaps. But Cardiff Met do lead by 26 points as we make our way towards the end of the first half. And it wasn't a free-flowing game for much of this first half, but Cardiff Met have managed to find their way over the try line 4 times today. Matt Marley with a quick pickup, working his way up the pitch. As a good tackle comes in from Niall Armstrong. He's done a lot today for his side in both defence and attack. It'll take a little bit, though, to stop Ollie Andrews. Here's Roderick Evans with a little grubber towards Bingo Ivanisevic, who's been quite quiet so far, but we know what he can do.
Yeah, he's certainly a dangerous man who's going to get the ball to hands later on in the game. And he does come into his element when the other team starts to tire. He sees space, he sees gaps in the defence, so he will definitely be looking to get the ball to hand in the latter stage of the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. Will Rigg, the man with 2 tries tonight so far, and Bingo Ivanisevic making up the centre partnership at the start of the season for Cardiff Met. And they are going to close the season also. Pointing out some of the changes that has happened, though. Joe Locke on the pitch as well. He's worked his way into this team. And when we say worked his way, he's worked hard to be here tonight and making an appearance in the last game of the season.
Yeah, as I said, he's worked his way through the ranks. We see some of the ultras, some of the maybe past players here as well, loving the BUCS Super Rugby era of this club, as we all do. We all enjoy coming down to Kincoid to see these clashes.
Cardiff Met, though, in a dangerous position once again. Bingo Ivanisevic, the man we just mentioned, making his way across the try line. He was quiet early in the game, but he joins his centre partner amongst the tries. Bingo Ivanisevic back in the side. He scored a few tries on the weekend. He's bagged another one today. As we say, Nathan Correa loving his fellow teammates' try. Griff, just as we say, he's not in the game.
Just as we say, Bingo Ivanisevic, where have you been? Well, commentary, please be quiet. There's a try, have that. Brilliant. And a good line as well, again, from the centres. It seems to be the trademark here at Kincoid. Both centres always ready to hit the line. Brad's looking for is it a ball or a tee? Does he not fancy a drop goal here?
You mentioned before the game, though, how important the Cardiff Met centres were going to be if Cardiff Met were going to win this game. Perhaps not quite anticipating how impressive Cardiff Met were actually going to be tonight. But it is the centres with 3 tries between them, Griff.
Yeah, it's coming into the last stage of the season, and the centres for Cardiff Met always come into their own in this part of the season. We say it every week, probably, and I'm sure you're a bit tired of us talking about these guys, but Northmore springs into mind when both these centres hit the line that hard. Roderick Evans with ease.
So then 90 seconds left on the clock here at Rugby 1. It is Cardiff Met 33, Exeter 0. Cardiff Met securing the bonus point in this first half. Magnificent performance from the Cardiff Met boys. And what can Exeter do to answer back? Whatever it is, they're going to have to do it in the second half more than likely, as Cardiff Met once again have the ball.
I'll jump in here quickly with a quick score update from both games going on currently. Kicked off at 6, may I add. Durham 34-0 up at half-time with a bonus point victory as it stands, so it looks like Exeter's chances are gone. And then half-time in the Hartpury vs Cardiff game, it's Hartpury 13, Cardiff University 31.
Exeter with the ball in the hands of Matt Cook. They're going to hit the line hard there. Can they mount some sort of a challenge just before half-time? Max Bliss is going to try and make sure that does happen and give his team a chance. Going into the break with some points on the board, as they will have to look to mount a big comeback in the second half.
Yeah,
Chris Moore bursting through a couple of challenges there.
Just clicked there. Joe Locke's come on for Iwan Shenton. Hopefully that's not an injury and it's just maybe protecting the captain going into the quarter-final. Not sure what's going on, but I'm sure there'll be an update soon enough.
Yeah, when Shenton back in the team in the second half of the season, and what an impact he has made, helping his side, though, to what is quite an emphatic lead so far. If you are just joining us, 2 tries for Roma Zeng, 2 for Will Rigg, and here is the man with 2 tries, looking to pounce on a loose ball. Comes to nothing though, and Ollie White retains possession. Exeter really struggling to break through the Cardiff Met defence, and they are halfway up the pitch as the ref blows in favour of Exeter. The men in green really struggling to make their way up the pitch though, Griff. They've been here for a lot of the game. The kick's going to find touch, but that's really been the only time they've ventured anywhere near the Cardiff Met 22.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they've even come into the 22 at all, to be honest. I can't remember a moment where they've even troubled Cardiff Met at all, but maybe a strange penalty there given against Matt Marley in midfield. Cardiff Met have gone for that turnover a couple of times, not quite got it, and the referee has given Exeter a chance here to potentially get on the board before the half-time.
Chris Moore then, the man who was announced by Munster not so long ago, with another line out going slightly askew. He's had some trouble with those today. The rain has stopped, but the game in the first half hasn't yet, and Exeter will have that never say die attitude as Dan John hits the line. Well worked by Archie Hoskin, who's now on the pitch.
Oh,
the captain, Ollie White, makes some great yards there. Here come Exeter. Can they get the points before the end of the half? Lloyd Seed will hope he can do so. Here they come then, Exeter. Milo Harlem goes over the line. It's a nice try from Exeter. It is the number 5, the fresher, who gets his team 5 points just before the half. It is the end of the half. Could that be the start of a comeback?
I want to say no, but they've just got to try. It was a great initial line speed there from Roderick Evans in the previous phase, but Cardiff Met just couldn't get the men over to the right-hand side of the pitch. But it's a shame to concede just before the half-time whistle, and it does give that Exeter team some hope. But Cardiff Met, I could see there just from here, Jack Sylvester telling everyone, calm down. Don't panic. It's only 5 points.
So Alec Lloyd Seed then with a chance to kick for the first time today. Strange try almost from Exeter because they've made it look quite difficult so far today. Broke through with ease as the kick sails through the posts. And I think that will be that for the first half. It is indeed. So half-time then. Cardiff Met 33, Exeter 7. They do break. They go into the second half then with some points on the board, do Exeter. We are going to have a look though at some of the BUCS teams, specifically the hockey team here at Cardiff Met. Let's take a look behind the scenes of Cardiff Met hockey.
last week. And so everyone worked so hard and everyone was going back. We were like,
Just try, I think maybe for this game, just trying to maintain that.
Here we are at Kincoid campus, and this is the Cardiff Met ladies first team versus Exeter ladies first team. Lovely pass, straight on it, no pressures there. Goal, and what a fantastic goal, straight through the keeper. Still winning the ball, chipping it up, carrying a little bit of 3D skill.
Right, we've got to get on our forehand in here as much as possible. Okay, so these ones are on. Okay, occasional switch here as well.
We all came out and did our best today, and although it wasn't a great result, I think we can all be happy that we've had a good season together.
Are you feeling emotional?
Yeah, I think we're crying.
So I'm here now, joined with Ali Stacey after that brilliant first half for Cardiff Met. Ali, what were your thoughts on that fantastic turnout there from Cardiff Met?
A bit surprised really from the scoreline at half time, but boys are putting hella shift, and 33 points up against a 5 from Exeter's unreal performance so far, especially them being in second in the table. But
yeah, 5 tries from Cardiff Met as well. Will Rigg with 2, Roma Zheng with 2. How much of an impact has Roma had on the team this year, would you say?
yeah, Roma on and off the field has had an impact on everyone. I think his performances just bring everyone to bring another level in training, and probably indirectly benefits everyone just from what he does on the field and off.
And then Bingo as well, coming back into the team, back with a try. Do you think he'll be buzzing with that one, especially going into the playoffs in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, Bingo's been at the BUCS side for a little while now, but I think coming back with a try and giving some confidence, it'd be good to see him in the last 10 minutes of the game, see what you can do then with the ball in hand.
Focus a bit on yourself then. You were saying before the game you had your first champ game of the season. First champ game ever, was it, on the weekend?
I played a champ game, like a champ cup game during pre-season, but first league appearance on the Saturday.
How did that go with you?
It was good to be back on the pitch, but quite a difference from playing BUCS, and it was just playing against old fellas, really trying to fill in some uni lads, but
yeah,
it's good to be back.
We saw here as well against Cross Keys, both you and me doing the commentary on that game. So your injury was the thumb. Is it back 100% now? Can we expect to see you in the BUCS team before the end of the season?
I'd hope to be back in the BUCS team. I suppose that relies down on the coaches and their decision, my performance. But yeah, my thumb's back to where I want it to be and back playing, so all good.
And as it stands currently, Cardiff Met would be playing Cardiff Uni at home. How tasty is that?
Hell of a game, hopefully down at Cardiff Arms Park again, and be another Cardiff clash, and probably get the triple on them, I reckon.
Hopefully. Ali, thank you very much for joining me. I do believe the second half is coming up next here at Kincoid, and Roderick Evans does have the ball in his hands now. And we welcome Rob back onto the comms.
Thank you very much there to Ali Stacey for a little halftime show.
He loves it.
He does indeed, and Cardiff Met are loving it right now, 33-7 up as we go into the second half. And Exeter are going to have to give us something really special to do anything in this game. But of all the sides in the league, Durham are off to Northumbria, but you would back Exeter to put on a show.
Yeah, of course, but as Ali said there, it's a bit strange and a bit surprising that Exeter haven't come out of the blocks like they normally do, but it might reflect Cardiff Met a bit more that we've played so well in this first 40 minutes, and I'm sure they'll want to keep the hammer on and they'll want to keep pressing Exeter to make those big errors.
Indeed. So Exeter did make the breakthrough then just before half-time. It almost took us by surprise. They walked it over the line essentially. I did almost think it wasn't a try.
Yeah, we were looking at it as if, what's going on here? It's a bit strange, isn't it, to see Exeter even in the 22?
Yeah, but they scored the try and there was no reaction, no celebration, because I think these boys are quite disappointed with how they have performed. And like I say, though, they're a winning side. They haven't lost many this season, just the 2 games. So they'll know exactly what it takes to come back and give us a really good game in the second half.
Yeah, of course. And Exeter, we've seen how many points they have tallied up throughout the whole of the season. I believe they're one of the top try-scoring teams in the league. They've got the most points than anyone. They've got more points than Durham. So it shows how good they are on the attack and on the offence. But they're struggling here now, and they're struggling with the atmosphere created by the Ultras here. We can see another quick change for Cardiff Met. Tyler Olding has come on, and Morgan Nelson does make way for him. Again, is it a question of resting the big players? We'll soon find out, I'm sure.
Impressive, though, that Cardiff Met can feel comfortable enough in this game to rest their captain. Ewan Shenton went off in the first half for Joe Locke, who's now on the pitch wearing that 20 jersey with the magnificent man bun.
Beautiful. His nickname in the club is Thor as well.
Very apt, I'd say. Might go for it myself, mate.
Will the Lord of Thunder strike again tonight, Rob?
Jeez.
Clutching at straws.
Not going to go there, but we do see the strength in depth that Cardiff Met do have. A few boys on the bench there who will look to get on tonight.
They don't look happy. It's a thing their
Funny
team
enough,
is.
they don't. Kean Richards, though, given quite a difficult pass to Bradley Roderick Evans, who collects it nicely. He's been informed tonight, starting plenty of the attacks. Telfer making his way down the wing. Strong runner. But a beautiful counter-ruck there from Cardiff Met. As Ollie Andrews hits the line. So that is actually Tom Workman hitting the line. Ollie Andrews in support. The 2 times try scorer, though, Will Rigg.
Hunting for a hat-trick, potentially.
Stabbed kick from Bradley Roderick Evans. Testing Max Bliss and his quick thinking. Roma Zeng is there to put him under pressure, but he glides across the pitch, almost like a gazelle does Max Bliss. But there is Will Rigg with a strong challenge. And you can see what it means to him there, Will Rigg, just in the top right of your screen. He's really feeling it tonight, Griff, is Will Rigg.
He's feeling it. I'll tell you who felt that. All the players on the bench loved the turnover from Bailey Marshall Telfer. He's been certainly an influential player in this team throughout the season, and then he's just got a crucial turnover again there, his 11th of the season. But all the players, they're battling for their positions as well. You know, going into the playoffs, all the lads will want to make an impact on this game, especially looking at the game in 2 weeks' time.
It's interesting, though, there, just to get a little glimpse into what Exeter are capable of. Max Bliss. He's made a fair few appearances, 9 this season for Exeter. Sailed his way across the pitch there. He made it look easy to get his team on the attack. They just haven't done that all game.
It's what we've seen in previous games from Exeter. They love to get the ball to the wingers and to the back players. The centres also get involved playing some brilliant rugby at times this season, but we just haven't seen enough of it. Kean Richards.
It was a very comfortable restart from Cardiff Met as Brad Denty couldn't quite collect the ball there. They surely would have seen him make his way over the line for a try, but didn't quite come to fruition. But we saw then the line out, starting that driving maul. Cardiff Met bring it forward.
Yeah, it was a cheeky ball there from Kean Richards. It was a one-handed floated pass over the top. It's almost champagne rugby here at Rugby 1. There won't be champagne here. Rather, it'll be up in Durham tonight, but maybe come the end of the season at Six Rays, Cardiff Met will be able to get their hands on the bubbly.
You mentioned Kean Richards there, keeping Ethan McVeigh out the side tonight. A man who's been in really good form, given the fact he's come back from a difficult and long-term injury this season.
Will Rigg doesn't like the call there from the referee. Exeter, they've been very good in the scrum. They've been secure. They've only, really in this game, it's only been one scrum. They've come out unfavourably, and that was one where Cardiff Met happened to get the try. But they've been strong in the scrum, and it's small moments like that that give that emphasis for Exeter to do better.
We do just see that magnificent banner that has just gone up here at Kincoid campus. Steady and play. That's the motto here. And you can certainly do that. And you can also play a very top level rugby.
Yeah, I'm sure all the players in this team would say come along to Cardiff Met to study, because when you play BUCS Super Rugby, it's borderline, professional rugby setup here, with Di Watts doing the S&C, Alan Williams with the Front Row Academy as well, just been established this season. Certainly all the lads here would be telling the youngsters, come to Cardiff Met and make us an even stronger team.
Exeter, though, looking to get back into this game. Tom Addison getting on the ball. He's a man they'll look to drive their team forward. He's got 3 tries this season. He's came all the way through the uni system. He's very familiar. We just talked about the Cardiff Met setup, but Tom Addison very familiar with what it's like over in Exeter. Here's Moore. Hitting the line hard once again is Tom Addison.
Yeah, you were saying there, Tom Addison, he's been through the whole system at Exeter. Another player, Cardiff Met, Joe Locke, has been through the whole system here. So it shows how players can be developed in these fantastic organisations all across the UK to be top-class athletes. And more than that, just fantastic people as well. Getting to know some of these players this season has been fantastic for everyone involved at Cardiff Met Sports TV, and we thank them for their involvement with us as well.
We see there the captain, Ewan Shenton, on the bench. You'd like to think from a Cardiff Met point of view he is rested rather than injured.
I couldn't see any ice on his upper body. I wonder, maybe a leg injury?
Under the Arsene Wenger coat, who knows if there's a little bit of ice on the knee. You'd hope not. But Exeter then making a few changes in the second half, a few men onto the pitch to try and make that difference for the men in green. Didn't quite work out in the first half.
It didn't work out in the first half, especially from the line out. It'll be interesting to see if they instantly more secure.
Pinpoint line out it is, though, from Chris Moore. And here comes the drive in Moore from Exeter. This is a route to score tries that they've used all season. Ball in hand with Tom Hitchcock. The 2 centres really looking to make an impact today, but it is their opposite numbers who've actually had their stamp on the game. Exeter looking dangerous, though. Similar position to where they found themselves in the first half as Chris Moore goes over the line. He started the last 7. He's had that announcement from Munster that he will be playing for them. But he helps Exeter cut the difference just that little bit more in the second half.
Yeah, the Eagle has landed over the try line here at Kincoid. It's quite loose defence maybe there. Bailey Telfer not getting back into position quick enough. Barney Langton seems to be confused with what's going on. And Exeter back in the game, I would say. 2 tries back to back, and Cardiff Met, they starting to flag a little bit here.
2 very similar tries then as we see the reinforcements arrive in the form of Matt Scott coming on. Big player is Matt Scott, plenty of strength. And it's a man who's actually featured in all of the big games this season for Cardiff Met. And perhaps a little bit of nerves creeping in that, don't forget you are playing Exeter. They're high in the league. They're second for a reason. And Cardiff Met are going to need to keep their focus then.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting that Matthew Scott, he's come into the team for pretty much every big game. So he's obviously a big player for Met, and he's a big scrummager as well. He'll certainly be looking to bulldoze his way through the line as well when he does get the ball into his hands.
So 2 very similar tries then for Exeter. Makes it Cardiff Met 33, Exeter 14 with 50 minutes on the clock then. As we said, we do back Exeter to give us a game in the second half. And they've came out and started to do so. Here's Telfer. Roma Zeng picks it up. Makes his way through a few challenges as he always does. He's gone through 3 or 4 then, and he's still going, is Romazeng. He bounces Max Bliss. Romazeng gaining several yards. It's in the hands of Bingo Ivanisevic. Joe Locke in support. The number 11 putting his team in a very dangerous position. Here is Dylan Bartlett on the pitch then. Cardiff Met still driving towards the try line. It's inches now for Cardiff Met. This would be a big try if they can get it over.
Looks to be held up from this angle, doesn't it?
The referee's getting a close look.
But it is a penalty for Cardiff Met.
Joe Locke there wrapped up in 3 or 4 Exeter players. As we see Nathan Correa there, he's loving it. In a nice little blazer and tie, looking as sharp as ever.
And you love the inspiration that he's got from his captain, Iwan Shenton, going for a cheeky mullet. And now
here is Romazeng though. We had Caitlin Lewis in the first half, emphasising what a player this man is. As we see a signature run. There's another one for the highlight reel.
And on top of that, it's impressive that he just thinks someone's coming towards him to tackle him. I'm going straight towards you. Don't think of tackling me, I'm going to bounce you off, and that's exactly what he did to Bliss. We see Kieran Richards coming off there, making way for the American Heath McVie.
It was Max Bliss who tried to bring Romazeng down in that final challenge. He's a man who's been involved in the Saracens age groups, not a man to be messed with. But as we saw then, Romazeng does back himself with ball in hand. And Bradley Roderick Evans backs himself with the ball on the tee. And that's exactly why he finds his mark once again.
Yeah, great kick. We do extend the lead now to 36-14. It looks comfortable now on the scoreboard, but I must emphasise again, Exeter not a team to mess with. They are the highest point scorer in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if they got a couple more.
It is then Cardiff Met's first points of the second half. Exeter with another try. That is one either side of the half-time whistle. Back in the game perhaps, but it'll take a few more points than that to worry this very impressive Cardiff Met side.
Chop. Yeah, Will Rigg. That line speed Will Rigg has got. People think, oh, he's a big lad, but he's quick as well. We spoke to a couple of lads after the Bath game. He's arguably the fastest player in the team, and it's hard to imagine how quick he can be when you're that size as well. It's extremely impressive.
I'm sure Jack Sylvester will have something to say about that statistic. As they do look to handle that high ball. They do struggle ever so slightly, but it is Jack Sylvester who comes away with it. The referee, though, spotting a knock-on from Cardiff Met.
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly here with a quick score update from the Hartpury-Cardiff game. Hartpury, the latest update was Hartpury 27, Cardiff Met 38, with 10 minutes left on the clock there. It has been around 10 minutes since the last update on the Cardiff University Rugby Instagram. So is it bad news or good news from there? I'm not too sure.
Perhaps they're busy celebrating over there at Hartpury. As soon as there is an update, we will bring that to you. But here it is, Cardiff Met 36, Exeter 14, with around 55 minutes on the clock. And we are going to have a scrum in the Cardiff Met half. It's fair to say, though, Exeter have looked much more dangerous in the second half. The replacements making a difference.
Yeah, a lot of the players have come off, haven't they? You know, mass changes for Cardiff Met. I wonder if that's getting a little bit comfortable bringing off the starting 15, or is it just giving everyone a good run in this game to get ready for the next clash in the quarter-final?
With a heavy season behind them and a few more games to go, it wouldn't surprise me if they were resting players. But as we said, Exeter are a dangerous team.
Oof.
Talking of injuries, we've got a pretty serious one there. Not stopping him from making an appearance here at Rugby 1, though. But I do think those toes will be slightly nippy in this cold weather.
Yeah, he could have given his toes a little bit
clean.
of a wash.
Yeah, a little clean. Clean your toes, mate. You could be on TV.
Paint them as well if you fancy.
Fair play, though, making an appearance. We do have an extra scrum in the Cardiff Met half, though. Still looking to get the game back underway.
Yeah, the other updates across the league, Swansea are winning 14-5 against Bath as well, coming into half-time. I'll let this play breathe before I drop some more bombs.
Tom Hitchcock and Dan John, the two centres, running in unison there, trying to burst through that Cardiff Met defensive line. Great counter-rucking, though, from Cardiff Met. Push Exeter back 5 or so yards. Archie Hoskin, though, the fresher on the pitch now, looking to make an impact.
This is better defence, though, from Cardiff Met. They're passing the men on. They're more alert, and they do get the line speed right there again.
Barton with a almost fancy pass to his teammate Tom Hitchcock. Couldn't quite get it under control. Perhaps getting ahead of themselves ever so slightly. It is going to take quick play, though, to beat this Cardiff Met side. They've got a big challenge ahead of them, as we see the score there in the stadium.
Yeah, as we were mentioning before, the scores currently across the league. Durham are winning 55-7 against Northumbria after 55 minutes. It looks to be an easy walk-in for the title for the men up at Durham. And then Loughborough winning 21-14 against Leeds Beckett as well. And the update for Hartbury against Cardiff University. It looks like whoever wins that will play Cardiff Met. Cardiff Uni do have had 2 more yellow cards in the 78th minute of that game. I wonder what's going on there.
Back to the wall defence, you'd have to assume, from Cardiff Uni over in Hartbury. Right here, though, stop-start, much as it was in the first half. As we can confirm, Hartbury do bag themselves a try in the 79th minute. 1 minute after Cardiff received the yellow. It is Hartbury 32, Cardiff 38. As the other Cardiff team find touch just inside the extra half. We need the game back underway, Griff. It's been very stop-start, almost more stop than start in the second half. Cardiff Met won't mind it.
Cardiff Met will love it. They're winning 36-14 against second in the league. A bonus point is already secured in terms of tries. Yeah, they might not have had any tries in the second half, but the fans don't mind, the players don't mind. I'm sure the management will mind, but yeah, it's relatively comfortable at the moment for Cardiff Met. They've stalled Exeter's attack, and they're just playing their game now.
Still plenty of time for all of that to change, though, as a very long line-out comes in. It almost worked in their favour as a misplaced pass towards Archie Hoskin comes in. Does well, though, to control the ball. Ooh. Kick charge down, almost collected well by Will Rigg. Does get his hands on it eventually, though.
The referee didn't see a knock on there from number 19, Arthur Thomas, but Cardiff Met just about kept possession of the ball. Again, the ball spilled from Joe Locke. Whoa, butterfingers.
And once again, 2 or 3 extra players make their way to the feet, and it is Joe Locke at the bottom of the pile. Once again, it does take a few men to bring him down. Just unfortunate in that instance.
Joe Locke, he's relentless, isn't he? He never stops working. He's always up for a battle, and he loves when the games get tough and the atmosphere gets heated and the game gets heated. But so far today, you know, the refs kept good tabs on all the players. Nothing's really boiled over, and it seems to be because Cardiff Met are in cruise control here.
Yep, Joe Locke, certainly a man who knows what it means to play for Cardiff Met. As we see Stefan Davis on the pitch. He's in at fullback today. And we know he's got plenty of pace as well.
Ball kept in play well there from Exeter.
Roma then collects nicely under the high ball and calls a mark.
We haven't seen Zheng kick the ball many times this season. I wonder what he's got in the locker. guards instructing his troopers.
With a slight smile on his face, I'm sure he won't let the boys rest regardless of the score.
Whoa, what a
He'll
punt.
want this one done.
Big punt
Max
there.
Bliss collecting well, though. Tried to offload it to his winger, Jordan Bond. Jordan Bond, another dangerous player that Exeter have 7 tries this season. Hasn't really been on the ball all day so far.
It seems to be the case for Exeter, just not being able to get their big hitters involved yet. Try coming from Chris Moore, was it Tom Hitchcock as well, getting a try. So it's been a strange game from Exeter. I think that's the word to use so far today for Exeter, just strange.
The crowd has turned up in their numbers despite the weather that has got worse and worse throughout this game. But plenty of those fans wouldn't have expected an Exeter side such as this to turn up. The score much more in Cardiff Met's favour than many would have predicted before this one, as Tyler Oldin perhaps trying to waste a couple of minutes. They'll know how dangerous they can be. Exeter finding touch though. They've been dangerous in these positions, Griff, when they have got into the Cardiff Met 22. They've shown what they can do, perhaps not as much as they'd have liked. But if you're Cardiff Met now, you've made a few substitutions. Who are the men you're going to look to hold strong?
I think it's the experienced lads who's still on. From a distance, I can see Matt Marley, he's still out there. Heath McVie, despite not playing many games this season, he's an experienced lad as well. There's plenty of experience out there for Met. Barney Langton as well, he's experienced. Yeah, I'm just listing off everyone who's played a lot of games here. But those are the lads I need to look out for anyway.
As we see another line out from Exeter not go as planned. That's been a feature of this game, especially for the team sitting in second. The coaches talk about momentum all the time, Griff. This won't do Cardiff Met any damage in terms of moving into those playoffs. Exeter, though, not how they'd want to arrive.
At all. It's not the form you want, winning 10 games on the bounce and then the last game of the season you lose at the moment to Cardiff Met. But Cardiff Met are a strong side, It's a toss of a coin between the top 4 teams in the league. When they face each other, they're always tight contests, Cardiff Met, the first game of the season here was Cardiff Met 13, Durham 13. We've seen other games so far this season, Exeter beating Durham by 2 points, Durham beating Exeter by 3 points. It's all extremely tight, and even going into the semi-finals, maybe not on the best form, they'll certainly be able to turn it around.
It does appear, though, that going into those playoffs, that it is the Welsh sides with all the momentum, and it could make things interesting with Swansea and Cardiff in the lower half of the table, as we can confirm that Cardiff Uni have overcome Hartpury. As we were saying just then, the momentum is in favour of the Welsh sides.
Yeah, that's massive, isn't it? Hartpury losing to Cardiff Met by 6 points. Hartpury, the kings of BUCS Super Rugby. They've won every championship since it started. And for Hartpury to finish, was it now, 7th in the table, it's a big shock. But it does line up to be 2 tasty clashes. Exeter hosting Hartpury and Met hosting their rivals, Cardiff Uni. Wow.
As we see there, the Bradley Roderick Evans' kick did just connect with Olympian Joe Breyer's Swede. Not quite quick enough to get out of the way.
50th fastest man in the world. Over 400 metres, allegedly.
Well, the 49th fastest man might have ducked out of the way of Bradley Roderick Evans' kick there. Nonetheless, the camel work continues. McVeigh looking to bring it out of the maul, and he does so there. He pinches the ball, makes his way forward, didn't quite have the support, and the ball balloons up off the turf that is now soaking wet. Max Bliss does well, though, to offload under some serious pressure from the likes of Joe Locke over on the far side.
But good initial thinking there from Ethan McVie to get the ball in his hands and almost batting away that defender.
This trail from the ruck from Exeter. We've seen it all night. Steph Davis collects the kick. With the rain really picking up, I'm unsure if he could even see that ball sailing towards him.
Yeah, the rain's really picking up now. It's giving me vibes of that Swansea game a couple of weeks ago. Different outcome at the moment. Fingers crossed it stays this way.
As we see McVeigh's box kick once again make its way into the Kincoid sky. The wind certainly has picked up. And I think you could see it there ever so slightly with Max Bliss's kick going into touch. As we just go back here, Joe Breyer needing to pick up the pace here. Here it comes. And there it is. Right on the mark there. You must have heard him saying that he thinks he's faster than Bolt in his prime. Bradley Roderick Evans clearly disagreeing.
Yeah, to be fair, it's fantastic to have that sort of influence on the course. You know, Joe Breyer, he's been to the Olympics. He's run in the Olympics, and it's crazy almost having an Olympian on the course. So there's actually.
So did you mention there was an Olympian on the course? But yeah, Joe Breyer on camera too tonight. Brand new cameras. Hopefully you're enjoying them at home on Cardiff Met Sport TV and BUCS Super Rugby. There's a wayward pass comes over the top there. Telfer again looking to get those interception stats up. Doesn't quite manage to, but it's been a very stop-start game. We've said it a few times now. The play really hasn't got back underway and flown properly for a good 10, 15 minutes now, Griff.
Yeah, the game hasn't been flowing. It's evident due to the to the weather,
and
as we can
why.
see. Yeah, it's a grueler. It's tough conditions, and I'd say both teams are not doing very well really to cope with the change in weather. But Cardiff Met, they punished Exeter in that first half, and that's all that matters. Cardiff Met have the points on the board. They can relax.
It's been such a staple of BUCS Super Rugby all season, the horrendous conditions that the team here at Cardiff Met and the team all across the country at the moment covering the BUCS rugby games have had to put up with. Some extreme conditions. Just to remind you, if you do want to see any of the clips from tonight's game, Cardiff Met Sport TV's Twitter account will be posting all the tries, as well as Joe Breyer nearly having his head taken off.
Ali Stacey involved with the team support. Hasn't played for a while now. He's been out since the Bath game, but he's recovered well. He's now playing for the champ team. It's going to be interesting to see what changes in the team as we go into the BUCS Championships. Rhys Barrett, Joe Cowell, Morgan Lloyd might be coming back from the Wales 20s. Will they go straight into the team?
Here come Exeter though. It is a great challenge by Ethan McVeigh to bring his opposite number down. Archie Hoskins looked energetic since he's come on the pitch, but it is Cardiff Met with the penalty. 70 minutes on the clock, Cardiff Met 36, Exeter 14. Such a slow game in the second half, but it's important to keep that concentration. Saw Di Watts there, the fitness will be coming into play, the conditions are challenging, and Exeter are no mugs.
They aren't. It's fair to say they are one of the best teams in this league. The conditions are changing quickly, and their replacements are certainly strong enough to make the damage in the next, in the next 10 minutes. But Cardiff Met, 22 points ahead. It's hard to imagine Cardiff Met not securing at least 2 points from this game now.
There is the scoreboard. Fortunately, we are just down to the left of that scoreboard in a nice warm cabin, as we see the weather really starting to pick up now.
A good
ball in the hands of Diamanteo, looking to make an impact. He missed a big portion of the season, but he did make his first start last week. Strong player to have off the bench. And you mentioned Cardiff Met going into these playoffs. He's a player who might play a big part.
Yeah, he's played for England students as well in the past, which shows how good he can be. He's a young prop as well, and he's brilliant in his own right. We're back on camera here.
All three of us here. We do have a cameraman with us. But as we mentioned, nice warm cabin for us. Horrendous conditions for the players, which again plays a big part in the line out there. Matt Marley collecting from Chris Moore's throw. And I promise you it's not quite as chaotic in the cabin as it did look moments ago. It's all fun and games in here, but not so fun on the pitch for those boys now.
Oh, and the crowd getting punished by this rain.
It is punishing conditions as we see the ball spilled there, collected very nicely and handed off to Matt Marley. Barney Langton back in the team after some injury troubles in the last few games, handling it very well. The height perhaps giving him that advantage. We do see is it Bailey Telfer down over on the far side there receiving some treatment?
Yeah, it'd be a shame to see one of the lads go off injured now. We will turn around this time and say hello to the camera.
Well, we do have the injuries. Just as I was about to take a drink, the timing is impeccable from the team here in the cabin, but it is nice and warm, and it's been an interesting game, Griff. Stop and start in the second half, without doubt.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's not been fluid rugby, has it, really, from either side. I think Exeter have had potentially the better chances in this second half. We haven't really seen Met come into the 22. But it's the conditions, isn't it? But hopefully going forward into the latter stages of March, we'll see some better weather. We'll be able to get some, fluid rugby being played by every team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not sure how clear it is through the windows here, but it is raining very heavily. Nonetheless, the Steady and Play banner that is newly put up here at Kincoy's holding strong. We'd have a very interesting circumstance should it blow down, as our cabin is just below it.
Great camera work there from our team. We see plenty of variety of of shots here. Some moving shots, some still shots.
Bringing all the dynamic camera angles, are we? On Cardiff Met Sport TV and BUCS Super Rugby. And if you are just tuning in, not too many surprises here. Cardiff Met are in the lead, and once again it is raining. Nonetheless, though, the crowd are in good spirits. You can hear them chanting, despite the fact they are all the way across the pitch from us. As we see the crowd there in their die caps and hoods, battling the weather. As a man
seeing off
the bottle of wine there. That's what's keeping them involved.
He's wearing a pair of sunglasses as well, is he?
If only they were needed. Back to the rugby though. 73 minutes on the clock. Cardiff Met still in the lead. Stefan Davis there with a wayward pass. Brad Denty dives on it. Getting very scrappy though now. Matt Marley trying to clean up for Cardiff Met. He does manage to do so. Here's Di Manteo. Hitting the line hard. A little bit of a interesting play though from Ollie White there. Looked as though he wanted to boot it away.
Yeah, some strange play has been going on in this second half, but Cardiff Met getting the better of it. Stefan Davis being the first receiver from Dav Chueti.
Big hit comes in from Tueti there. Exeter keeping the ball in hand though. 73 minutes on the clock.
A quick score update from the Loughborough game is 20-21 for both sides. Leeds Beckett against Loughborough at half time. So
Barney Langton nearly charging down the kick again there. Exeter slow to make their move. Does look like Barney Langton's injury playing up ever so slightly. Play continues though.
Let's hope it's just a bit of cramp.
He is holding his hamstring. He'll be a big miss as these two sides make their way into the playoffs.
Oh, Dav Chueti again. What a hit from him twice there. You just don't get past him that easily, boys.
Play continuing, but in the hands of Exeter. and the ref is going to blow up for a penalty for the men in green. As you say there, we have seen Tuetti come on the pitch, try and make an impact, keep his team in the lead. This bonus point win for Cardiff Met was exactly what they were looking for when they came into this game. This game's tight, but elsewhere there are even tighter games. Swansea just conceded the lead to Bath. It is Swansea 14, Bath 15 over in St Helens. The coaches here at Cardiff Met are keeping one eye on that game and the result, Griff.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that the league has panned out. There's still potential if Cardiff Met finish third that they will face Swansea as well, who could finish sixth. So it's a crazy last day of BUCS Super Rugby. It's almost unbelievable how close it's finished this season compared to other seasons where we see the leader charging away. But Durham have charged away tonight.
They have indeed, and perhaps that played on the mind of the Exeter boys. The fact that Durham were playing Northumbria, top versus bottom. You'd anticipate one winner there, and it turned out it was Durham in the end.
Great carry there from Brad Denty, I believe. But Matt Marley now, experienced there. Just he doesn't stop, does he, Matt Marley? He's always chatting, he's always running and always competing for the turnover.
For a fight. He's been fighting all night tonight. So, talking about players making an impact, Griff, we've seen some wonderful tries tonight. As the ball is spilled by Exeter there, it is knocked on. Just while we do.
Oh, great counter came from Exeter, but Heath McVie.
As a spill comes in from Telfer, capitalised perhaps by Exeter though.
It looked to me like Telfer fancied showing off his football skills and went for a kick there, but
Ollie White's eyes lighting up there as we see Ewan Shenton watching on, which he did for most of the season. In fact, he spent the first half of this BUCS Super Rugby season on the bench in a very similar situation. Came on though in the second half, showed what he can do, showed why he's the captain, and has pretty much led his side to where they are now.
Yeah, in the second half of the season, I'd say he's been the player of the second half of the season. He's so influential in the way he goes about his business on the field with carries, tackles, turnovers, tries. He's a big part of this team, and that's exactly why he's the captain.
Indeed. Talking of impactful players, Griff, this game's been perhaps not quite what we anticipated, but I am going to have to ask you for your man of the match as we enter the closing stages of this game.
Yeah, there's plenty of players who deserve a man of the match. You know, Roderick Evans, he's played well. You know, hasn't quite lived up to how many points he got in the first half of the season, but he's been excellent again today. But if you're pushing me to say one man as the man of the match, I'd probably lean towards Roma Zheng. I think he's been excellent again this week. Oh.
As we see another man, Tuetti to McVeigh. McVeigh with a beautiful handoff there, gaining his side a few more yards. And then talking about the man of the match, Roma Zheng here battling as always. The ref blows the whistle, and Exeter are going to take it quickly. Perhaps this game looking to speed up as we enter the very late stages.
Great tackle, Joel Broadhurst, getting over those hard yards quickly there.
Picked up the pace there, perhaps a glimpse of the game we expected here at Rugby 1. It wasn't the game we got, but as you mentioned there, Roma Zheng, perhaps your man of the match, but a special mention to Will Rigg, a man we picked up before the game.
Yeah, Will Rigg, he's come on. He's had 2 tries as well in his own right, but Roma Zheng, he's been cutting in off the left-hand side effectively. He's going through challenges. He's been carrying it strong. He's been, again, this week, he's probably been the star of the show, certainly for us, and it's easy to pick a winger as the man of the match because they get all the tries, but
as we see a replay here, a lovely little pass to Ethan McVeigh, the substitute today though, showing why he's such an important member of the squad. And Roma Zheng not quite able to wriggle his way through the defence. Met though in a dangerous position, Griff, with 1 minute to go. Happy with their performance?
Yeah, very happy. The lads look happy as well, giving each other a little touch there on the bench. 4 experienced lads there enjoying the night, and I'm sure they'll enjoy the rest of the night as well.
As the clock hits 80 then, can Cardiff Met top it off with a try? Bailey Telfer with the ball in hand, looking to help his side do exactly that. Here's Roma Zeng with the drive towards the line, making some good ground at Cardiff Met. McVeigh is going to assess his options, but we've seen their preferred route to the try line. Diamanteu in support. He's a strong man that could see it over the line.
Oh, great retaining of possession there from Bailey Telfer.
Yet another pick and go from Cardiff Met. Not quite over the line, the referee says. They're going to keep coming here, right under the post to Cardiff Met. Now, can they see that? Joel Broadhurst on the pitch there.
Yeah, I can't believe it was a cheeky show and go there from Joel Broadhurst. He got over but couldn't ground it. Unfortunate there, but it was a good innovation from Joel Broadhurst.
Cardiff Met really go into the phases nicely. They needed that little spark, and Joel Broadhurst wanted to bring it to the table. You see it pop up out of his hands, and bingo, Ivan Sevic does what he could, but unfortunately for Cardiff Met, the knock-on had already happened.
Yeah, Ivan Izovic is always alert, and as we said before the game, he's quick in the last 10 minutes. He's always alert through the whole 80 minutes of the game. Here we are in the last minute here. The score clock, our clock on the screen is not quite in sync with the referee's watch. We must insist. It seems to be less than a minute to go.
Less than a minute to go. Exeter won't want to go out on a whimper, but Cardiff Met have been emphatic in their performance so far today. Cardiff Met 36, Exeter 14, less than a minute to go. 2 tries from Roma Zeng, 2 tries from Will Rigg, and bingo, Ivan Sevic back in the side and back amongst it.
Yeah, it'll be certainly a headache for Danny Milton going into the next game, having seen some of these players really step up their game today. You know, Joe Locke's come off the bench and been super effective, as well as seeing the likes of Bingo Ivanisevic coming back into the side with a try. I wonder what he's thinking right now.
Plenty of Exeter boys, though, who'll be slightly disappointed with their team's performance today. Going into those playoffs places, the likes of Arthur Relton and Max Bliss, those 2 men today, they'll be disappointed.
Yes, we mentioned a lot of big players for Exeter before the game, but we haven't really mentioned their names a lot at all tonight. It doesn't feel like we've been saying none of the Exeter lads' names because they just haven't really been involved in the game as much as Cardiff Met. But Cardiff Met, it looks like, is he grabbing the tea here, Steph Davis? Fancies adding some points to his tally? He does.
As we see, the parties have already begun here at Kincoid. We question whether they would be, given the weather. The answer is they certainly are. Exeter, though, they've shown in fleeting moments what they are capable of, and they've sent the message to the rest of the league what they can do as we enter the playoffs. But Cardiff Met here made a statement. They will finish 3rd, but they will finish with a bang, as Stephen Davis here looks to add just a few more points to an impressive Cardiff Met performance. He doesn't quite manage to do so, but Cardiff Met do win this game. They secure the 3rd place finish. Exeter, they'll be disappointed. Nonetheless, they'll finish in 2nd. Congratulations to Durham, and congratulations to the Cardiff Met boys here today for putting out a magnificent performance to end the season. It's Cardiff Met 36, Exeter 14.
As you said there, Rob, firstly, massive congratulations to Durham. It takes a lot to win the league. It takes even more to win the league with 79 points. Only losing 1 game and a draw here at Kincoid. It's a fantastic feat that they've managed to achieve this season. On the other hand, down here tonight, Exeter didn't quite perform, but might be due to the circumstances, and Cardiff Met really coming into their own today, and they are loving it. Look at the fans. fantastic scenes here at Kincoid.
Yep, Exeter will be disappointed, but the hard work was done earlier in the season to work their way up to that second place finish. Cardiff Met, likewise, they've put in the work, home and away.
Cardiff Met, yeah, as you were saying, home and away, they've been strong at home, much stronger at home, only losing that one game against Swansea, but it's the away form that might concern the management team going into those semi-finals. If Cardiff Met have to go over potentially to Exeter for a semi-final, it will be tough for them, because it has to be said, Cardiff Met are not as strong when they do travel.
And I'm sure those Cardiff Met ultras will enjoy the celebrations long into the night. Well deserved. They followed their team home and away all season. The likes of Roma Zeng, today's man of the match, emphasised just how important those fans are to the team, and I'm sure they'll show that support all the way through the playoffs. And as you mentioned, they may face Exeter again.
They certainly will, but the fans is something that's key, and I do believe that Met finishing third in the division, potential, the likelihood they will travel to either Exeter or Hartpury for the semi-final if they do get through their own heat. It's a massive difference in how far you have to travel. Going up to Durham potentially or Loughborough, there's not going to be as many fans there, and the fans is what make Cardiff Met play to that next level. Here at Kincoid, losing one game, drawing the one against Durham, they love playing in front of a crowd, and that's going to make a massive difference in the BUCS Super Rugby playoffs.
They will indeed, because like we say, as much as you notice the fans being there, perhaps a slight detriment to that is you notice when they're not.
Yeah, it's a detriment that you don't quite have the same impact when they do go away. But we can see here, Danny Milton, he's telling the lads he can't believe it. That scoreboard there is sensational. You can see Roma Zeng bouncing up and down. He's loving it.
Yeah, Danny Milton will be proud of how they have ended the season. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, but they finished fantastically well. They'll all be proud.
Yeah, you can see though the influences of this team. Roderick Evans, he's been a captain at times this season as well. He is having a say. All the lads will want to have their say to encourage the lads. Now's the time to start digging in. Here we go. This is the end of the season.
And from an Exeter point of view, they'll look to bring up their morale, because it's important how momentum is important. As we see the Exeter boys there, they won't let it affect them too much. But there it is, the signature celebration. Cardiff Met take the victory.
Yeah, I think some nights as coaches you just watch and you admire what the players go and deliver. So I think that's owned by the players tonight from the whole squad. The way they went out and executed the game plan, but to plan for it and do it is another thing, and they executed that tonight really, really well. So pleased for them, because it's kind of what we've been searching for all season. So that's the standard of our performance, hopefully, that now we can take into the latter stages.
You got a bonus point within 30 minutes. Excellent. Everything seemed to fall into place tonight.
Yeah, it did, and I think what we aimed to do was to take Exeter's platform away, and we achieved that, because they're a very well coached team, very organised, and if you allow them to dominate you, they can really turn the screw. So I think tonight, again, we took that platform away from them, and the boys were so physically dominant tonight, and everything that we tried, it stuck, and that first half was probably as good a performance, bar the try at the end, that we've had all season.
I mean, aside from the platform being taken away, another platform taken away was the home ground. Coming to Cardiff Met is always a difficult place for people to come, but the scenes at the end of that, the ultras embracing the Cardiff Met team, it's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like what these Wednesday nights are made for, and they're a huge added man to us. They, you could sense it in the air tonight. That atmosphere was there before kick-off. The build-up, the excitement is kind of they mean so much to us, and they really do help us out when it comes to a performance like that. They're a key part of what we're about.
So how much confidence does that give you, going into the playoffs now and a home playoff as well?
yeah, it's a good win and something you can build from. The last couple of weeks, you know, that's been a little bit inconsistent, but you know, we've got a down week next week, so we can work towards that now, knowing who will play, so we can take the standard of that performance and hopefully now repeat in the next round. And it is literally now knockout stage. So
brilliant. Well, how good was Roma Zhang tonight?
Yeah, he is a pretty special player. You know, he's got areas of his game he knows to improve, but he's one of those players. He's just, you know, his natural ability, his power is incredible, and he's repeating it time after time. I think he is X factor for us, and I think he's an exciting prospect without doubt.
It was a slower second half, wasn't it? Do you think the weather affected things considerably then? Was that why it was a much lower scoring half for Cardiff Met and for Exeter?
Yeah, like I don't think we were ever going to carry on at that intensity for the rest of the second half. The challenge was, could we? I think we did in the main, bar the start of the second half. But you know, I think we managed the game well, and we managed it back well in that second half. And again, that's total credit to the players, and the players who came on had real impact as well. So it is a squad effort, and you see that week after week. So yeah, very pleased.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm now going to do a quick little swap season. Roma Zhang, talking of Roma Zhang, we've now got him in studio with us. Sorted. Well, Roma, congrats on a storming win tonight. How happy are you with your performance?
Oh, the boys are excited. It doesn't get much better than that in terms of first half performances from all of us. It was a real 15-man performance, but yeah, honestly, it doesn't get much better than that.
We're looking at some of your tries now. You're the top try scorer for Cardiff Met this season. How good does that feel? You look like just bouncing off tackles for fun.
Yeah, it's definitely feels good. Some of us boys have had some competition. We've been kind of neck and neck all the way through the season, so that's definitely driven us to try and get those tries. But yeah, definitely feels nice.
So many players were standout tonight. How encouraging is all the form that we've seen tonight going into the playoffs now?
Yeah, that win's massive for us going into those quarterfinals. We get a little break now, and that really sets a statement for us and shows what we can do. And now we need to take that and just raise it into next game.
Yeah. How encouraging is it to have a playoffs on home turf? How much will that help you? How much does that kind of give you a boost on match day?
Yeah, well, you've seen how much noise the ultras make, and it doesn't get much helpful. It doesn't get much more helpful than that, and it definitely helps when we're playing. They don't shut up through the whole game. It's class.
Brilliant. So what are the things that you were hoping to work on? You've got a bit of a rest now before the playoffs. Yeah, what would you like to be working on to improve on?
I think we've definitely done well in starting off, heading out the gates. We definitely started off the game strong, but there's always that moment in the second half where we kind of slip off a little bit. And we've always emphasised being a full 80 team, and now going definitely into these knockout stages, you can't switch off for even a minute. So definitely going into the quarterfinals, we need to work on being a full 80 team, taking it all the way.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and good luck in the playoffs. Now we've got Exeter coach. We're going to do another little swapsies. Exeter coach Keith Fleming coming to join me now. Thank you. Brilliant. Fab, thank you so much. We've got the Exeter coach with us tonight. Commiserations. It was tough weather out there tonight. How much do you think the weather played a part in tonight's performance?
Oh, I don't know. It's the amount of times I've been here and played in far worse conditions. I don't think it had too much to do with it. Hats off to your guys. They played very, very well, and impressed with their desire and their want to carry. And you played well. So.
You still managed to stay second overall in the league table. You have a home playoffs. Are you confident going into the playoffs now on home turf? What will that look like?
It's always nice to be at home, isn't it? As I'm sure your guys will tell you this evening, it's nice to be at home. We knew that we were secure anyway, so which I think might have been a little bit of our problem. But no, I'm not taking anything away from your guys because they played very, very well.
Have you got any players coming back from the under-20s or from the Chiefs that will be with you for the playoffs?
Yeah, as long as they come back sort of injury-free. But we'll see. If they're not back, then other boys will step up. So
yeah. How good is this BUCS season as a place just to elevate rugby and as a pathway to elite rugby as well?
Oh, I think all of us have proved that it is a very serious pathway to elite rugby. we've had a lot of players go through, and in the Prem and in several other Premiership clubs as well. So View is a proven pathway. I think for those of us that have been around for a while, we always knew we played good rugby, but actually people are taking a bit of notice now, and BUCS Super Rugby has certainly enhanced that and put us on a sort of higher platform, so where we're recognised a bit more, so which is all credit to the boys, really.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Commiserations again, but good luck for the rest of the season, for the playoffs. Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We're now going to bring Danny Milton in, Director of Cardiff Met. We're getting everyone in tonight as it's the end of the league. We want to chat to everyone, as many people as we can. Danny, how are you feeling after tonight's game?
I think at half-time we were over the moon, and I think that was probably about 39 minutes and 45 seconds of our best rugby before Exeter got over the line to finish that first half. But yeah, delighted with that first half performance. We know what a quality outfit Exeter are, and so for us to play that way in the first half, we're really pleased for.
Who were your standout performers then? There were so many tries to choose from, but yeah, who kind of was consistent throughout?
Look, selection's been really, really tough. There are some disappointed boys who haven't made the cut tonight, and I think that was really reflective in some of the people's performances who stepped up, and guys like Brad Roderick Evans, Ewan Shenton, Morgan Nelson, really pleased with them.
How encouraging is it though to have such a big pool of players to choose from every week? I mean, I know some people get disappointed, but how great is that for the team in general?
Yeah, I think it's to have the fans on the side and have the whole club there was amazing, and I think that's what brings it. And those fans and everybody who brings everything to it, and the games that we've got, that competition for places, it makes the club really special. And I know as staff we just feel really lucky to be involved.
Talking about a competitive squad, but also this season, this BUCS Super Rugby League has been such a competitive one. How good is that for the game of rugby?
Yeah, I think it sets that alternative pathway now we're really seeing, and people have been able to transition to the professional game straight from BUCS Super Rugby. And you've got to look at the way Exeter, they've got the guys in the 20s, they've got people who are going to come back and strengthen their side for the knockouts, and we know whoever you play in those quarterfinals, hopefully semi-finals and beyond, who knows, but every game's really, really tough in this league, so it's great to be part of.
Cardiff Met's also been having a lot of coverage in the news recently. Is that helpful? How do you find navigating that as you try and get the boys prepared for playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's difficult at times. Manage expectations and manage the media around it, and it's been amazing to have the recognition for the programme. But hopefully that's reflective of the hard work from everybody in the programme and the quality that people put in, the time, the volunteers. Amber, the team manager, PhD, everything she does from an academic side of things, to all our voluntary interns and everybody who puts something in. So that media coverage is great, but hopefully it reflects the history of Cardiff Met, UX, South Morgan Institute, but also the hard work of everybody here.
And I know it's a little bit further away, but do you think that Cardiff Met can make the final?
Well, I certainly think if we can play like we did in that first 35 minutes, we can hopefully put some rugby together in that quarter-final, semi-final and then the final. But who knows, this league's very, very tough. We've got to take it one game as it comes and make sure we repeat that performance in the quarter-final.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, good luck for the playoffs. Hope to see you in the final. But yeah, thank you again for
Thanks very
joining
much.
us.
Again, thank you for your coverage.
Oh, thank you. Right, well, we're going to end our coverage there. Thank you so much for joining us again at Cardiff Met Sports TV. From all of our team here, Nostar, good night.